Hey everybody, I'm back again to share a quick lot of visions and words that I received on the 2nd of October. And once again, brothers and sisters, I'm not too well. This time I've got a bad cold. So please bear with me if I have to turn the video off briefly to cough or something. But anyway, everyone, what I would like to share with you really surprised me. Sometimes the Lord just out of the blue gives me a subject that I'm least expecting. Today, just for your reference, is the 18th of October. So the first vision I received that night on the 2nd of October was a, a picture of the word birthday. But instead of me seeing the whole word, it was in block letters. I saw just about 4 or 5 letters, sort of in the middle of the word. So if I can just zoom in, I might have just seen just so many letters. I couldn't see all of the letters, but I knew in the vision that it was the word birthday, and the confirmation of that was that sitting on top of the letters was one single candle, like you see here on the cake, and it was lit. So it was definitely the word birthday. And many of you will have seen the previous video I've done just recently about the Lord speaking to me about an event coming, and he keeps referring to it as a birthday. And I think he's referring to the birth of the church, or the coming taking of his bride. But brothers and sisters, please go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. So as I said, I was most surprised to see that again, but interesting the way he delivered that vision, and that I could only see partial parts of the word. And my thinking is that he was using this as a time frame, that the other things that followed that night were going to happen sometime before the completion where this birthday event is going to occur. And because I only saw maybe half of the word, I'm thinking halfway maybe between now and the period when the birthday event happens. So that's all I can say about that. So what I heard next really surprised me. And it was about this man, Scott Morrison, who is the current Prime Minister of Australia. And brothers and sisters, I'm not very political, and in fact when I heard the word Scott Morrison, I took a minute or two to actually remember who he was. I knew he was very famous, but it did take me a minute just to remember who he was. He was not somebody I very often think about at all, and the subject of politics is not one of my favourites. So I was blown away by the messages this night. So what I heard was the Lord said to me, Scott Morrison said he'd be using more ire. Now that word ire, I-R-E, is not a word that I commonly use. So I had to look it up to find out the true meaning of it. And this is what I found. Ire means an intense, openly displayed anger. So the Lord was saying that Scott Morrison was going to be exhibiting more openly displayed anger. And who was this directed to? Well, I think that question was answered with the next vision that night. Now this was the next vision, and this is a picture of the New Zealand Parliament buildings. And what I saw was this building on the left. As I looked at the picture before me, shafts of lightning began to come from the building outwards. It was explosive lightning coming from what we call the Beehive in New Zealand. So everyone, if you can just imagine that building that you just saw had shafts. Oh, sorry about this terrible picture. Oh gosh. Sorry everyone. So if you can just imagine lightning bolts coming out of the top of that building, the Parliament buildings of New Zealand. And of course then I had to put the two visions together, and my thoughts were that the Lord was saying there was going to be anger openly displayed from the Australian Prime Minister towards New Zealand government, and that the New Zealand government was going to retort back with anger as well. So my thoughts were that the relationship between New Zealand and Australia could for a time become strained, which is very sad because we've always had very close ties. We fought together to defend our countries, and we have always been, well, very close as countries. So I just think this is very sad, and I will be watching with interest to see how the relationship goes between Scott Morrison and Jacinda Ardern. Now, the other interesting turn of events is that vision was given to me on the 2nd of October, and last night on the 17th of October, New Zealand had its general elections, and Jacinda Ardern was re-elected as our Prime Minister for the next 3 years with her left-wing party, the Labour Party. So, as many of you will know that follow my channel, I have been given words and visions about Miss Ardern, Jacinda Ardern, and whether they be warnings, that is something I'm still praying about, but I do believe this is a very important time politically, and that she is a very key person. The Lord told me she was a very big fish in a small pond. New Zealand is a small country, but I believe Jacinda Ardern is going to have a very big part to play in world events, not just in New Zealand, and already she is admired by many countries across the world. So, brothers and sisters, this is just an interesting series of vision and words given to me from the Lord on the 2nd of October. And once again, I like to have it on record so that we can refer to this in the future. So that is why I'm putting it out. I hope some of you find this interesting. And I, as always, pray blessings on you all. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon when the Father shares something else with me. Bye for now.